Chapter 44, Heart of the Bond. Kenneth remained at the front of the group, refusing to turn around as he's closer to where it'll not only blow the group away, but also to set things straight with Steven and Craig. He reached the closed metal door. He pushed it with both of his hands. As he stepped foot inside, so did the group. With Steven and Craig to bear witness from the sight, they couldn't believe it. Wow, Steven responded. Another huge tree, Craig commented. Still the healthiest tree inside the soda factory, Kenneth smiled as he turned around. Just like when I was Kane, giving his best friends the best soda than anywhere else. But with how old this factory is, they don't sell those kinds of sodas, right? Conley replied. No, they don't. He then headed towards the ladder attached to the platform they're on. He climbed down, landing on the ground. But I did bring along soda for you all. After we leave, I'll give you some, but for now, climb down. I want to show you all something really great. The group climbed down the ladder with Steven and Craig being the final ones climbing down. I'm still impressed with this place. That tree is unbelievable. Steven looked back at the tree. Yeah, Craig added while also looking at the stump attached to the cracked floor. He witnesses the pit itself that's shaped like a heart. A heart shape? Yeah, I didn't know it was shaped like that. As they both land on the ground, the whole group reached the cracked floor. They look down at the pink liquid at the bottom as Kenneth uses the flash from his phone, brighter for everyone to witness it. Is that pink soda down there? Sparkle Cadet pointed. Yeah, Jessica responded. And look at how strong that tree is. The strongest tree in the creek, Diane commented. Strongly dope, Cannonball added. The pink soda down there is connected to the big pipes up here since they use the underground pipes to save space, Kenneth explained. The more pipes, the more soda they can make. Still though, how did this big tree come out from that ground? Steven wondered. Trust me, it's really hard to believe, Kenneth then walked up to him. But now, it's time. Steven remained calm, and so did Craig. They're willing to spill the beans without going back. As for you all, you can listen to everything we say, but keep away from that pit. We know, almost stepping away from it. I don't need to say all of us won't come up from there. I almost forgot about it, Bryson added. We would have been trapped if one of us fell down. Yeah, if we never had Steven, Kelsey responded. As the group stood at the side, Steven, Craig, and Kenneth stood in the center with the big tree right behind Kenneth. Okay, who wants to start first, me or one of you? Steven then looked down at Craig, allowing him to look straight at Kenneth. Craig showed sense he caught on really quick. I really do, Craig responded. Several days ago, Steven came into our neighborhood where my brother met him. I've met him by bumping into him, well... I'll take it from here. Steven lifted his shirt to reveal his gem to Kenneth again. The rest is history, but you've already known how Craig got pink eyes. Yeah, Kenneth replied. You put saliva in his ear, but still, as much as I was impressed with your powers, you could at least show me your gem earlier. I didn't for good reason. I lied, yes, but Craig's mom wanted me to get a friend my age. I got another day with him because of it, Craig answered. Granted, it didn't change what I've been through yesterday, but it's the reason why I'm staying indoors at all times tomorrow, but I'm not grounded. You know, you have to tell him, Connie chimed in. Say it to him. Craig breathed in and out as he told the truth to Kenneth. Aquamarine and Ruby put me on lockdown. Aquamarine and Ruby? Kenneth made a confused look. Those two kids put you on lockdown? They're not kids, Stephen replied. They're gems. And they're living in your younger brother's room, Craig answered. They've been walking with Xavier since I've stopped them. Kenneth looked up at the ceiling, wishing the photo he received for him wasn't any more fake behind it all. I don't think I need any more information. Just when I hoped he would improve as a person and younger brother, he does a stunt like this. What other stunt would he cause? Kelsey chimed in. Keep us on lockdown in the maze, Bryson added. He really made candy and gifts his biggest weapon. I know what type of brother he is. I was too occupied with my college work. I didn't want that in the way, Kenneth retorted. And I would have been surprised with the whole Aquamarine and Ruby fiasco if I saw it for myself. You will never know the half of it, Stephen remained calm in order to come clean with his friend. Remember when I mentioned Beach City and it's where I'm from? Yes. It's where most of the gems go to and live to be better people. But not Aquamarine and Ruby. He then reached into his pocket, taking out his phone while walking up to Kenneth. He opened his photos, showing Kenneth pictures of him along with gems around him. They're really cool, he smiled. I don't have pictures of Aquamarine and Ruby, but if they have powers like you but not in that way, I don't want to know, Kenneth replied. Just please show me more pics. I'm really digging this. This made Stephen a little happy, relieved of Kenneth giving into his true self. He showed him a pic of Peridot, Lapis, and Bismuth after finishing an armor for the gem. These are your best friends? Yes. I do have human friends, but let's just say, do they pursue other goals? Stephen nodded from Kenneth's guess. No problem, we've all been through it. Just pointed it out. Still though, as gems, they look more kinder and really promising, Craig guessed. Yes, guess little Homeworld College really has a lot of high-class, likable gems, especially the little gem dude. Yeah, high-class, likable gems. Craig may want to see the pics himself, but unlike last time, he's not in the same mood as Kenneth. Despite still having no pink eye problems, he's not letting that out in this meeting. Then Stephen showed Kenneth a pic of him. Poor Amethyst and Garnet, together in front of the beach house. And these are my mothers. Poor Amethyst and Garnet. 3 mothers, Kenneth reached. Now I'm jealous. Their husbands really dropped the ball. That would be true, but one of them is a fusion, he pointed at Garnet. And they all never got married. Even if, he then pointed at Paul. They really wanted to, just not with a man. And it only weighs more questions than that, Connie added. Okay, I can take it. It's not like Stephen was once a woman for one of these gems to go gaga over, Kenneth laughed. Connie and Stephen didn't laugh, nor did the kids despite not getting the full context. Kenneth's laugh died down as he witnessed everyone's reactions. That actually looks sweet to witness myself, Sparkle Cadet commented. It's like positivity giving birth to the galaxy. Too much irony in your imagination, Sparkle, Stephen making an awkward laugh. Wait, it's actually true, Kenneth replied. Yes, it is true. I was once Rose Quartz, who my dad fell in love with, and she was one of the diamonds. Kenneth wished it was a lie, but witnessing the 3 pics, he doesn't see Stephen as much as a volunteer as he described from before. Maybe now I understand why you have pink powers, especially with Quake's pink eyes. So, you're mostly human, half gem. Kenneth headed to the center. Steven turned off his phone while putting it away, following Kenneth from behind. He didn't breathe in and out, however his mind still processed upon the truth. Everyone, including Quake, felt shocked that Steven's once a gem, but from his last dream, Quake's finally connected the dots. You were Pink Diamond? Quake blinked. Yes, Steven answered. And now you know why I tried to make you less worried for your next dream. Steven, Quake signed. I don't believe you and Pink Diamond are the same person. I'm glad you don't believe that, but if it wasn't because of her, you wouldn't even be born, Kenneth guessed, cutting Steven off while turning around. Because I don't think I'd believe that over gem people. Yeah, I wouldn't believe that if they had that in the books I read, Kelsey commented. Or even aliens, JP added. I never expected you all to believe me, Steven said. All I'm saying is the reason why I left Beach City is to find myself and grow independently. Kind of like going to college, except it isn't. Kenneth moved his body back to Steven. If this is about being who you really want to be rather than being part gem and part human, you could have told me that when we met yesterday. I would still have questions, but it would have been resolved sooner than later. I didn't mean to waste your time. You didn't waste my time. My brother did. If I just met you without him, maybe I would have been closer to you as a friend. What about Mark and the others? Well, for how long they've stayed in the creek, I would feel sorry for them, but if you became an elder, but still a gem, without anyone giving you comfort, even I admit I can't change you. He did change me, Connie walked next to Kenneth, but even I wouldn't use good intentions to change him. He helped a lot of people, even the people who hated him. It did affect my mental health when I turned 16. He then turned to the Creek kids. I can't express mental health because not only do you all have fun lives and imagination, you're too young to understand mental health, or even experience it. The Creek kids looked at each other after the quest they had with Steven. They still had a blast upon experiencing his powers, but at the cost of the truth, it's hard to imagine if he was a normal human in all of this. Steven, Kenneth said, it's never your responsibility to help people outside of Beach City, including me, since I never had a problem to begin with. If you did, would you still need help? Steven wondered. Yes, but you wouldn't need to help me if your mental health's that bad. I've overcome it. We would have been friends in a different way, just like how Garnet sees the future in many ways. You mean her with the shades? Yeah. Kenneth wondered how someone like Garnet would see the future, as if he thinks she's psychic, but as a gem, he wonders what other powers she has. I don't need to ask if she's the one who makes you more happy than the others. If that were the case, I would have a favorite in my family, which it isn't. He does miss his friends and family. He just never had the ability to call nor FaceTime them, Connie added. He does both for me since we do spend time together. It's just Garnet called me, and that's when I came here to help. She then turned to Craig. When she got a call from Steven, she told me he's not done with Craig. I was kind of thinking the same way, Craig responded. Granted, I've noticed the pink visions the day after the storm where Steven gave me his powers, but even with his pink eyes still not activating at that point, He knows how Steven thinks of him than the night he met him. Even then, I'm not done with him even if I'm supposed to feel that way. If he wasn't a gem, I'm sure you would be better off enjoying yourself in the creek like your friends. Kenneth smiled while turning to Steven. And Steven, I still like you as a friend, and with your gem on your belly button, it's not that bad to me. Thanks, but what about your brother? Steven wondered. After we're done tonight, I'm going straight to him and confronting him, along with those 2 bad gems he's with. I'm not be able to handle them, but I'm still preventing my brother from doing anything suspicious. Yeah, another reason why we want to spend the day at the creek is to prevent them from interfering. Most importantly, Aquamarine and Ruby, Jessica added. I would like to know less of what they did yesterday, Kenneth replied. Especially the fusion, Kelsey added. Even if I was in a team with Connie, we won't be able to take them down. I was a witness to Bluebird, Cannonball added, and it was ugly on that stormy night. If no one got hurt, it's not ugly to me, Kenneth smiled. With everyone feeling relieved at the moment, a thought came to Steven's mind. With how everyone's happy, including his best friend Kenneth, he knows what he's gonna do with Craig next. So, should we leave and go swimming? Diane asked. Yeah, I want to feel the water after walking around for hours, Bryson added. Just one more thing, Steven smiled. Craig, stand next to me. Fusion into Strike Williverse. Got it. As Craig walked next to him, he blinked multiple, attempting to activate his pink eyes. When he tried to take Steven's hand, he didn't grab him. Steven, he stopped blinking. Are you ready? When he looked up at him, he noticed he was typing on his phone. You all want to meet the Crystal Gems? Steven cheered. What? Craig reacted while backing away. You're serious? Kelsey smiled. Yes, I am. After typing in, Steven received a message right away. And Garnet has everyone around her, so this is a great time to meet them all. Sweet, Kenneth smiled. We're gonna meet the Crystal Gems, JP added. I'm actually gonna meet Connie's sword trainer, Kelsey jumped repeatedly. They're really gonna spark my positivity, Sparkle Cadet added. As the group gathered together, Craig on the other hand backed away. He didn't expect Steven to do that out of nowhere, and now he thought one about him being into a fusion with Steven again. But unlike the others, he wasn't ready to meet the Crystal Gems like this. Despite his dreams making the gems real in his mind isn't focused on what's going to happen soon. Soon, Steven's camera is turned on, and in no time, Garnet's face is revealed on the screen with a smile on her face. The grown-up cutie pie, she replied as Paul appeared on the screen. Steven, she cheered. I knew you would FaceTime us at some point after you left. Then Amethyst appeared on the screen with a huge smile on her face. It's awesome to finally see you, man. Have you gained any high scores? Steven smiled. You bet I did. Hey, have us meet them, Kelsey cheered while jumping to reach the screen. Please give me a minute. Steven looked down while still holding on to his phone. Stewball, his father Greg cheered upon appearing on the screen. Dad, so great timing. I'm throwing the barbecue outside of our house. Garnet then showed Steven the citizens of Beach City doing beach activities, but they weren't the only ones that caught his attention. Peridot, Lapis, and Bismuth with smiles on their faces. Steven! Peridot cheered. How's your state-to-state trip going? I don't need to ask how many waterfalls you've been, Lapis added. What I really want to know, Bismuth crossed her arms. Did you befriend a meatball who's the same age as you? Yes, I did, Garnet. Steven spoke as Garnet turned the camera back to her, Paul and Amethyst. Steven turned his camera to Kenneth. He's older than me, but a bigger meatball to hang out with. I'm Kenneth, he smiled. So you are the crystal gems, and you must be a gamer, Amethyst smirked. Mostly a cartoon guy. Fair enough. As for me, I bet you look like Steven's one and only best friend. Almost true, but don't leave out Paul and Garnet. The more you know about us, you will change your opinion, Paul added. I can tell by looking into the future, you will change your opinion, Garnet smiled. Yeah, I figured out who's... Never mind, Kenneth said, immediately correcting himself. Exactly. Anyway, here's more of my friends, Steven showed them. JP, Kelsey, Bryson, Jessica, Sparkle Cadet, Cannonball, and Diane. Unfortunately, he noticed Craig not around them, but he isn't hesitating on giving the kids their chance. Kelsey paid attention to the screen as she stared at Paul. Aw, she's holding a sword, Paul noticed. I knew she was going to say that, Kelsey squealed. Yeah, Connie leaned down next to her. She's a really huge sword fighting fan. Connie trained me 2 days ago. It was awesome. Bet you want to be trained by Paul, huh? Garnet guessed. So much. Garnet, don't you think she's too young to Paul getting cut off by Garnet? I like this girl's passion, Garnet smiled. I'm sure you're gonna like it as much as you like Connie's when you trained her. Paul looked at Kelsey through the screen. While her sword is still adorable in her eyes, it doesn't compare to the old sword Connie used. If you ever come to Beach City, I'll think about it. I'm sure it'll be like good times, Connie smiled. It's me feeling it that should also matter, Paul added. Trust me, you're gonna love training with me. I'll follow everything you tell me to do, Kelsey replied. I promise. She's almost the same age as I was, Connie added. We just need to make sure we can work this out. Anything is possible, Peridot said off screen. I know, Paul said. As for the other kids, oh, JP reacted. I'm sure showing off your gem powers won't be an issue. Yeah, show us what you got, Cannonball added. Garnet knew kids outside of Beach City would want to see her and the other gem powers, and she won't deny them a chance. Greg, please hold the phone, she requested him as Greg took the phone from her, holding it in position. The kids watched the crystal gems, including Peridot, Lapis, and Bismuth joining in. Amethyst summoned her whip, catching the attention from the kids. It always feels good to hear that whipping sound. Paul summoned her spear after pulling it out from her gem in her forehead. Kelsey couldn't look away from the spear as her eyes sparkled. I don't know which is better, your sword or that light blue sword. It's not a sword, it's a spear, Connie corrected. I still want to use it. Lapis lifted the water up from the ocean as Diane's jaw dropped. Now that isn't special effects, Kenneth commented. She can save Slide the Ferret's life, Diane added. Then Peridot, with a trash can bid, floated in front of the camera. I've been doing this whenever I come here from Little Homeworld. I would want that more than getting a driver's license, Jessica commented. You would rethink that once you fly over the clouds, Alma replied. Bismuth then shape-shifted her hands into hammers as she slammed them both. I did build nearly half of Little Homeworld. I can show you what I'm really capable of. She can do more shape-shifting than the others, Steven explained. And she didn't lie about building half for the society. I really want to see it myself if she's really telling the truth, Kenneth commented. I'm convinced the gems never ever lie, Bryson added. Then Garnet appeared in front of the screen as she summoned her gauntlets. Tell me, without shape-shifting, does this still look cool? It's awesome! I wish I had gloves like that, Sparkle Cadet said. And those colors, having a makeover for my outfit would be so worthwhile. They were built in a gift shop of the merchandise after I left, Steven replied. At least from what Bismuth told me. We didn't, Bismuth answered off screen. Besides, we never needed money. But Steven's the one who needs it, Garnet smiled. Is there anyone else you want us to meet? Yes. Steven showed his face on the screen. He's the first meatball kid I made a friend out of. This is going to be sweet, Amethyst smiled. Connie held the phone. He handed Connie the phone as Steven looked around. Craig. When he and Kenneth walked down towards the exit doors, they turned around, witnessing Craig hiding in one of the steel beams. Craig, why are you hiding? Yeah, you can't be that shy to meet them, Kenneth replied. I thought we were gonna fuse into Strike, Craig whispered. That can wait for later, plus your eyes haven't turned pink, Steven said. Steven, I didn't think I would meet them this way, but I did say maybe I might allow you to meet them through my phone, and I've made up my mind about it today. He then took Craig's hand, not tightly by force. Just relax, they're gonna like you. Craig didn't want to resist, but he didn't know what to say. For me, they're too real outside of my dreams. Then tell them about your dreams. Just don't ask them about your pink eyes. I'll text Garnet about it later. Steven slowly but surely pulled Craig back to the main area of the abandoned soda factory. Kenneth followed from behind as Craig's closer to Steven's phone. Don't be shy. Take all the time by getting to know them, Connie smiled. Craig took a deep breath in order to make his moment with the crystal gems in the real world special. Upon stopping in place, Steven presented Craig to his family. My meatball kid friend is Craig Williams. As Connie got closer with the phone, the crystal gems witnessed Craig from the other side of the screen. All that Craig did is waved awkwardly, smiling, however. Garnet, Pearl, nor Amethyst waved back. You're frozen, dude, Amethyst responded. I know, Craig lowered his hand while making an awkward pause. Then aren't you gonna talk with us? Garnet added as Craig nodded. Then ask us a question. A simple, nice question. Craig thought about one question for them, and luckily it came to him. Do you three ever want a friend outside of Beach City or more? If they're the ones Steven got to know, then yes. Are those kids your friends? Paul wondered. Yes, and that's not even half of them, Craig smiled. I've been taking Steven to so many of them ever since he came here. Then Craig appeared on screen from above. In what location? The creek in Heckleton. A creek in Heckleton? Amethyst spoke. I expected a city from a state. There'll be too many kids to make friends out of, Craig said. The fewer kids are in the creek compared to ones in the city, the better the friendships are, Craig replied. I'm still gonna show Steven more kids and have them get to know them personally. That's really actually something that Steven usually does, Paul smiled. I can see why you are bonding with him. We still had a rough start, but that's fine, Garnet cut him off. Relationships take time to sort things out, especially when you think about romantic relationships. Pelotot then appeared on the screen, witnessing Craig for the first time. Me and Steven were once enemies, and let me tell you, we've been through so many tough times to grow our friendship. Craig had much to think about Pelotot after it came to the dream he had. In fact, meeting her this way wasn't as bad as he thought. What would you think of me if I was your best friend like Steven? Peridot looked straight at Quake closer through the screen. Quake slightly smiled while Steven laughed at Peridot's classic ways. Does she always view people like this? Kenneth wondered. Not everyone, Steven giggled. It's just that Quake is the force that made her think more focusedly, but not judgmentally, right? Nope. After taking her time, Peridot leaned back from the screen. I would think. She then grew a smile. I would have a similar style like Steven. I would love to start over. Even without gem powers, Quake asked. Yeah, even if you don't have the ability to lift anything metal. Lapis then appeared on the screen as the memory cut up quickly in Quake's mind. And if you also don't control water, I would still want you to ride on me like Steven years ago. She leaned close to the screen. To show you how much of a best friend I am. Speaking of which, Steven leaned down next to Quake. Tell Lapis the dream you had of her. Yeah, Quake happily replied. You gave me a ride over the ocean while we were flying around Blue Diamond. Really? Lapis smiled. You showed him a picture of Blue Diamond, Steven? Yeah, imagination really gave him a great dream last night, Steven added. He'll feel really great when he feels it outside of his dreams, especially lifting him up in the air. Jessica then appeared on screen, much to Quake and Steven's surprise. Can I also ride on you to see from above? Okay, Jessica. Quake pulled her back. Much to her surprise, Kiki, not far in the distance, ran up to the phone. Hey, Kiki looked through the screen. That girl kind of looks like me. What do you mean? Show me your childhood picture, Jessica responded. Okay, let's not get too carried away. Pulled Kiki away from the screen. She was jogging on the beach. Garnet filled in as Lapis headed back to the screen. You have a sister, huh? She smiled. Carrying you too wouldn't be a problem. See, Quake? Jessica turned back to her brother. It won't hurt her at all. Can you please let me have this? He asked nicely as Jessica got out of his way. Yes, it'll feel nice to be lifted over the ocean and in the sky at least once. I want 3 times, Jessica shouted off screen. It's not like we can't do other things to spare the time, Lapis said. What happened in your dream shouldn't be less in the real world. She then walked away, allowing Bismuth to take the phone from Greg, paying attention to Quake through the screen. Tell me, Meatball, was I in your dream? Yes, and Peridot's also part of it, Quake answered. It was a rescue mission and mostly Blue Diamond took care of the rest. Seems you're gonna be having more of those dreams later on, and helping you by your side really feels something I would have done with Steven. That is true, it's just when it feels like joining teams with you and the others, it won't have the same feel Steven had. There's no threat coming after us is what's missing. Like, we don't want a threat coming after us, but working together is so worthwhile, Peridot added. But if and how there's a threat, it'll make us see who you really are, no matter who the threat is. The adventure itself, by seeing what you're capable of, should be a nice experience. Quake wished what she said wasn't an exaggeration, but it didn't feel like it. And experiencing on talking to the crystal gems was far away from an exaggeration. Steven really showed me he is a nice experience. Garnet appeared on the screen. Exactly. Steven then walked next to Quake as Connie backed away a bit, allowing Steven in the picture. After we leave here, we're gonna be going swimming to pass the time, and you're gonna go back on meeting more kids. As much as Quake can do for me. Steven rubbed his head. Then Quake. Garnet gets Quake's attention while taking the phone from Bismuth. Give him everything until he's all satisfied. I will. Those Quake kids who've been hearing about him, Quake replied. I'm hoping doing everything until bedtime. Then listen here. The other crystal gems gathered around Garnet, including Amethyst and Pearl next to her. You're making him feel really important for showing him in a smaller Quake. Trust me, Garnet. The Quake's bigger than on the outside, Quake said. You have to see it yourself to understand, Steven added. Still though, a Quake out of many places feels smaller than big, Amethyst replied. Well, if Quake's telling the truth, it wouldn't hurt to go there sometime, Pearl commented. I'd stay in the Quake forever if that happened, Kelsey reacted. And the other gems to be friends with, Diane added. There was so much non-stop charming positivity, Sparkle Cadet added. Kenneth found the whole moment bigger upon witnessing the crystal gems for the first time. Despite his time being less than them, he sees who Steven really is, but in a positive light rather than negative. When he looked at the pipes, he didn't forget what he had been warned the last time he left the solar factory. Anyway, is there anything else before we wrap it up? Garnet wondered. No, I think we're done here, Steven smiled. Wait, Kenneth called. Can you give Steven and Quake one question they can answer together? The crystal gems liked the idea, so did Steven and Quake. Okay, we can answer one question, Steven replied. This gave Kenneth the opportunity to walk past the group, heading up the crack-shaped heart pit next to the tree. What are you planning to do? Alma wondered. You'll figure it out. But I do need a favor from you, Kenneth said as he took out his old soda can he kept since childhood. It's better for Craig and Steven. Alma caught on that he's planning to drop the soda can into the pit with pink soda. He turned back to Steven and Craig, who awaited the crystal gems, to give them their question. So, protocol time. Have you been waiting for the moment you could treasure the most before you two part ways? We have a lot of memories with Steven, but we have treasured memories here and there on rare occasions, Garnet added. Even in the craziest times, me facing Steven became one of my best treasured memories, Amethyst smiled, even though we ruined the ruins. Craig liked the question, especially with the many moments he had with Steven. But when it comes to treasuring the one-of-a-kind moment, the future in a good way will still be unknown. Well, Kelsey and JP, he turned to them, had moments but never truly treasured them. For the record, we never knew what treasured memories were a thing. JP commented. The memories I treasured the most are with Stacks, Kelsey added, and I'm being honest about it. Garnet tried to further the topic while coming up with an idea. She diffused, catching Craig's attention, allowing Sapphire and Ruby to appeal. Greg lowered the phone to put them on screen. A bond, Sapphire smiled. It seems your sword friend Craig has a bond with that person, and she treasures her, Ruby added. Like we treasure each other, Sapphire and Ruby looked at each other, then back to the screen. It seems your bond is slowly growing to have your treasured moments be born. You're right, Craig smiled, and rushing one wouldn't work. For kids like you, you catch on what bonds should be. Tell me, Craig, Ruby said, would hugs make you feel the bond with Steven? I had to hug from him twice. However, the first hug we weren't friends, while the second, Craig refused to expose the truth about his pink eyes, but luckily, Steven filled in for him. We started off as friends, so the second hug didn't work out for him, Steven spoke. Like you said, Sapphire, slowly growing, and I'm feeling it right now. Sapphire sees it in Steven's eyes. As for Craig, she looked at him closely. Are you feeling it, Craig? Craig took a deep breath while eliminating the rest of the negativity in his mind. It's there, but it's not enough. Just put your health all in your heart. Kenneth found the right time as he dropped the soda can into the pit. Just let it in, Craig, Steven said. I've gained it from them from time to time. Just remember, you're not the only one that takes time with bonds, Connie smiled. I've experienced it myself. Craig took it all in, but then a pink bubble floated past Connie, catching her attention as it popped on Craig's nose. What? Steven leaned back slowly. Was that a pink bubble? Paul blinked. Not that I expected, Lapis added. Sparkle Cadet, Craig said. It wasn't me, Sparkle responded. Then one of the machines started operating, catching everyone's attention as they backed away from it. Alma and Kenneth looked at the pit as the pit heart-shaped glowed pink from below. The heart of the forest is reborn, Kenneth smiled. In just a matter of seconds, the pink soda rose up fast from the pit, streaming out hard as it splashed not only the group, but also Steven and Craig. They and Connie closed their eyes, but once the whole pink soda reached way up, they opened their eyes. Wow, Amethyst reacted. Is that pink liquid? Paul added. It does look like it, Bismuth added. Man, we didn't even ask where they are in that creek, Lapis added. The creek is bigger than on the outside, Peridot added. Greg looked at the screen as the perspective of Connie was floating. Oh no, he got in front of the screen. I hope this wouldn't have happened. Wait, Greg, Sapphire replied. Maybe this isn't a bad thing. Yeah, Ruby said. It looks beautiful. Steven and Craig looked around with pink flowers around them, especially with their eyes not getting hot from the soda. Thanks to the surroundings, Craig didn't feel any negativity in his body, nor had his pink eyes activating. When he turned to Steven, he closed his eyes. Feeling his surroundings made him feel. This feels like pink tears, all filled up with so much joy, Steven smiled. I can feel it too, Craig responded while lifting his hand out. It's not from you, but he gets closer to him while he looks back at him. He sees it through his eyes, shaped as stars. It feels like you. Pink makes me feel who I really am. My soft side when glowing a bond. He opened his arms, wrapping them around Craig as he comforted him, unlike the last two hugs. Does it feel good? Craig closed his eyes while opening them, thus having star eyes for the first time. During the whole time, Connie still had the phone, allowing the crystal gems to watch. Craig opened his arms, hugging Steven with more pink flowers flying up towards them. He laid on Steven's chest with his eyes closed. It does feel good. Let it all out, Steven spoke. It's always healthy for you and me. With Connie smiling at the moment, so did the crystal gems. This is almost perfect, Paul wrapped her fingers. I can see more going on with that Craig dude, Amethyst added. He's some one-of-a-kind meatball, Bismuth added. And what Steven has that I always remember, Lapis held onto her arm. I really want to hang out with Craig if he ever comes here, Peridot smiled, and maybe with his friends if possible. Sapphire and Ruby were more impressed with what they witnessed. It may not be love like they have, but the bond is still in right in front of them between Steven and Craig. Steven's charm really gravitated to Craig, Sapphire smiled. The heart of a bond, Ruby added. I see it crystal clear. If Craig actually comes here, he may love being around with us. If only he can. I wouldn't mind one bit, Craig commented. Sapphire and Ruby fused back into Garnet as well in the soda factory. The pink soda began to drain down while Steven and Craig kept their hug intact. The soda reached the level of the lower legs as everyone landed on the ground, no longer floating. Wow, Connie commented. That was amazing. Yeah, Sparkle Cadet added. It felt like a pink underwater sanctuary. Good thing I didn't take out my video game system, Diane added. It's not waterproof. But now, I really need my clothes to be washed, Cannonball commented. I know, but don't worry, one of us can go to the nearby laundry building and clean them all up, Kenneth said. So I guess I have to go there, Armor catched on. Don't you mind skipping swimming? No, I don't. I didn't even bring my swimsuit. At least I experienced the treasure. It really felt like the mystery was more than enough. You bet. Kenneth headed to Steven and Craig, who finally broke the hug, turning their attention back to the phone. Steven and Craig, Garnet smiled. Your bond is full of heart. The true kind of heart only you two can make. Were you worried about what just happened? Steven wondered. It's never new to me, and it wasn't that bad to me. I don't need to tell if the others were not drowning because I know they're not, Lapis added. Hey, they at least have something that my brother doesn't, Kenneth commented. Anyway, I think we are really done. Yeah, we're gonna go swimming to not only enjoy ourselves, but also wash off the pink soda. Steven looked at his coat while feeling it. It's also sticky. Yeah, you really should clean up, Paul responded. But it was fun while it lasted, especially meeting you, Craig. Hope we can FaceTime again, maybe tomorrow, Peridot smiled. It's a possibility, Craig replied. Yeah, I want to know more about you, dude, Amethyst said. I can show you places through FaceTime if there's Wi-Fi. Not as good as going to those places, but it's the least you can do. So, should we do a huge goodbye to wrap up this FaceTime? Greg offered. Oh yeah, Sparkle Cadet cheered. Let's do that. Then let's do it quickly. Connie smiled as she handed Steven back his phone. While Steven's group got into position, so did the crystal gems along with Greg. With Garnet holding onto the camera, she waited until Steven and the group said their last word with Craig next to him. Goodbye, Steven's group cheered. Goodbye, Greg and the crystal gems also cheered, thus allowing Garnet to end the FaceTime. Steven took a deep breath now that it's over. That went so much better than I planned. You bet, Craig smiled. I've never felt so much better. You really made my cuz really rad, Bryson said. Now I'm looking forward to what we're gonna do after swimming. Then you're next in line. Fine by me, Steven responded. We should change into the new rooms. One for boys, one for girls, Kenneth requested. Armor will head to the laundry building and clean all of our clothes. You're probably gonna have me borrow your credit card, Armor replied. Don't worry, I'll give it to you before you get all the clothes. Kenneth then took out a big box while placing it by one of the exit doors. We're definitely gonna need help getting out of these clothes. JP trying to take off his shirt. Yeah, I knew we would have to deal with this after finishing this quest. Still awesome, Diane added as she headed to one of the rooms behind doors. Glad I didn't skip this quest. After swimming, I'm done for the day, Cannonball commented. So much that after swimming, there's no more positivity for the day, Sparkle Cadet added. I don't blame you at all. Hopefully afterwards, we're gonna focus on other kids who haven't met Steven yet, Craig said. But I'm still allowing my cousin to have his turn. It'll be a great turn, cuz. Let's change into our swimsuits. Bryson rushed to the rooms. Taking downtime has been my reward during my trips in the States. Steven smiled as he headed inside the room. Craig followed as while the rest of the boys and girls went to their separate rooms to change, leaving Armor alone. He walked back to the pit to look down at the heart shape with the soda not draining down. No matter how deep the pit is, it won't make a difference now that the soda is all out. It won't be possible to have it blast out again for anyone to experience it like he did. He then heard one of the doors open, catching his attention. Armor, Kenneth called. When you're done with the laundry, can you stop by at my house to check up on my brother? No problem, he responded. I'll tell you everything when I get back in the creek. And don't worry about me. I'll take care of the rest with him and his two friends. He closed the door as he's preparing to get into his swimsuit. Steven, Craig, and his group, after getting into their swimsuits, head out of the abandoned soda factory and head to the lake where Armor took them 2 days ago. Upon arrival, Kenneth took out the soda for the whole group to drink. After getting washed up from the soda in the lake, they all enjoyed swimming. Cannonball's gonna do a cannonball, JP pointed up at the cliff. With the group moving away, Cannonball jumped up to the cliff and made a cannonball in the lake, splashing everyone. Man, that was a big cannonball, Bryson reacted, and Cannonball popped out of the water. Awesome people like you never disappoint to be underwhelmed, Cannonball smiled. So who's gonna do the next cannonball? I do, Craig raised his hand. It won't be big, but I'm up for it. Then get out and jump off the cliff, Diane cheered. Craig walked past Kenneth, who's sitting by the lake, drinking his soda after swimming for 10 minutes. Make it a great splash, he smiled. You bet I will. Craig getting on top of the cliff. Much to his eagerness, he wasn't jumping off alone. Sparkle Cadet decides to spread a little more positivity by blowing pink bubbles from her wand. The wind blew them up to the cliff's Craig's ad as it caught his attention. How's the bubbles? Sparkle called as Craig gave him the thumbs up. Then Steven appeared next to Craig, catching him by surprise while also giving Sparkle the thumbs up. It's perfect, Steven called back. Great, Sparkle responded. Ready to jump off? You bet I will, Craig said. Thought you would watch me. Then I wouldn't join in with my best friend, Steven smirked. Admit it, you would do the same thing if you watched me. Yeah, I wouldn't pass on the opportunity. Look at it this way. If the Crystal Gems are willing to spend time with you, they would never pass on any opportunity, like when they spend time with me. Craig knew for a fact the Gems miss him so much after hearing the reaction from his phone. I doubt they would want to miss our bond of friendship. Steven knew he would say that, as he won't forget what Kenneth gave him back at the abandoned soda factory. The heart of the barn, he guessed, smiling. Heart of the barn, Craig agreed. The two took steps back from the cliff. In no time they ran side to side, jumping off the cliff over the pink bubbles, catching everyone's attention, including Kenneth, who took a picture at the right moment, thus causing Steven and Craig to make a double cannonball, splashing everyone. Wow, that was big, Connie laughed. Really intense, Kelsey added. After the double cannonball, both Steven and Craig popped their heads out of the water, laughing in joy. That was crazy, Craig laughed. I really miss doing cannonballs, Steven commented. I only did it once at one pool during my state trips. I was lucky they allowed me to wear a shirt. Hey, Kenneth called, getting Steven's attention. I would keep your identity protected by giving you an awesome shirt if I worked by the pool. A dolphin shirt would be a great approval for me. Kenneth leaned down to pick up 2 filled soda cans. Anyone up for more soda? You bet. Steven, Craig, Kelsey, JP, Connie, and Bryson both headed out of the lake to get their soda. But once Bryson got out, he took notice of something hiding in the trees. Bryson, don't you want some soda? Craig called. I do, but I think I saw something, he responded. I'll get back to you. He went into the trees as Craig received a soda from Kenneth. He opened it and took a sip from it, refreshed from it. I have to say, this is the biggest highlight of the day so far, Kenneth commented, and I doubt it's ever going to be topped. I still feel bad for anyone who'll never experience the treasure we all saw, Connie said. Well, I can't say it's for the best, but if that was on the line and capture the flag, Kelsey turned to Kenneth, you'd be really disappointed if we actually lost. Kenneth kept his good mood without his brother getting mentioned. Since you all won against the enemy, it's better off the ex-king to use something he'll never treasure. And I know you all get the picture, right? We do, JP responded. Good. So to put things intact on the positive side, we're a little over halfway into the day. True, but maybe we should try to split up after Alma comes back with our clothes, Steven suggested. Kelsey wants to show her books to Connie, so let's save extra time by doing that. Kelsey had 2 options, showing Connie her secret book club or the library in Hegarton. Will you be able to fit into a small bush? She turned to Connie. I don't think so, Connie responded. I'm too old for that. Me and Connie never had a secret book club to hide embarrassment, Steven filled in. Is your friend Stax at the library? I guess, Kelsey thought. It's good enough for me, Connie smiled. We'll be back to meet you as soon as we're done. We should wait outside the creek, Craig replied. Well, how about the playground? Yeah, we can do that, Kenneth agreed. So I'm thinking of doing 2 activities and heading straight to the playground, Steven added. As long as no one's in the way, we'll be good. Okay, I think we all have it figured out. Craig taking another sip from his soda. Once we're done with Bryson's activity, we'll do something as fast as possible for the second activity. He then noticed that his cousin hadn't come back from the forest. What's taking Bryson so long? I'm sure he'll come back. He's not getting himself lost, JP added. Don't worry, Craig, Kenneth leaned down. Since we're all on the same page, nothing horrible is gonna happen. Then after such a long time, Craig's eyes turned pink, taking his group by notice, but Kenneth didn't flinch. And I'm sure you don't have to hide your eyes from anyone, especially me. You know, after sorting it out, Steven walked next to Kenneth. I agree with him. Even with the voices and people looking different in his pink visions, it no longer fazed Craig, especially that the crystal gems never finding out about, thus avoiding his panic mode just as much as theirs. You know what? It's good, Craig smiled. I've been having these pink eyes for 2 days, and in this case, nothing will scare me. You sure? Jessica wondered. Nope, I don't. After Craig took a drink from his soda, he turned around, laying eyes on a kid he only met twice in the creek. But in his vision, he wasn't seeing a different gem. It became crystal clear in his sight. So cuz, how about this robotic dude? Bryson presented the kid, leaning next to his cousin. I turned him on too late, but I found out what we're gonna do next. The kids looked through Quake's pink eyes, but it didn't faze him. In fact, he knows he may need to help Quake for what he did for him. I'm back to return a favor, and that favor is to find that CD to look into your eyes to help you get rid of them, he spoke. I can see your cure in the future. As Craig remained still, Steven leaned down next to him, confused from not only the outfit but also what he just said. Bryson, was he just laying in there when you found him? Yeah, I'm surprised you and the others didn't notice him when we got here, Bryson answered. When Steven looked back at the kid, he only had one question for him. What's your name? Deltron, he replied, and I'm from the year 3030. Then another question came to him. Are you seeing and hearing a different gem, Craig? No, Craig spoke with a smile. I'm seriously seeing Deltron without an issue. I like it. This could be futuristically rad, Bryson commented. I think I might agree with you, Steven responded. I don't know what I'm missing. This kid's imagination or the future he's gonna make happen, Connie added. Don't worry, Connie. The way I see it, Deltron had been shut off far too long to repay Craig. Kenneth smiled. He's not a hazard, Kelsey smiled, and I'm sure Steven has something that'll make it worthwhile. Then, wanna do this activity first before going to the library? Connie wondered. You bet, but I'm still getting really impatient. This causes Connie to pat on Kelsey's shoulder. We'll get through this. Stay strong, Lun, swordswoman.